Hi, this is OK Priest, and today I'm going to be talking about Shadow Priest in Cataclysm. Right now it's still in the beta testing stages, and even as I logged in, they've changed some things around, and you can definitely tell it's still in the working stages, but I think you're going to like what's going on here so far. So our rotations are going to be drastically changed. There's no more shadow weaving, and there's an introductory of a new stat called Mastery, and we'll also take a look at how that affects your DPS and the Mastery skill. In this case, it's Shadowy Orbs. So I'll be doing some questing, and in the process I'm killing mobs, and I did some video on how the new talents and skills for Shadow Priest affect our DPS and how it's being used live. I haven't started raiding yet. It's because you have to actually discover the areas first, and so lately I've just been concentrating on the new skills and things like that. So we're going to take a look at the new area and our new spell, Mind Spike, that comes at level 81. Currently my priest is level 81, and I still have her with some of my heroic epic gear from ICC, but some of the things that I'm starting to pick up is already looking great, and I'll go more into mastering thaumaturgy in a separate post, but I'll show you some of my things that I did use thaumaturgy on. So we'll take a look at all those things, some of the changes, and my thoughts on it as well. So let's take a look. Now let's take a look at Shadow Orbs in its relation to the Shadow talent tree. The Harness Shadows talent increases your chance to gain a Shadow Orb when using Mind Flay and Shadow Orb Pain by 8% if you have 2 points in this talent. So basically it raises the chance of 18% with Shadow Orb Pain and Mind Flay to 26%. And also if you're critically hit, you have a 100% chance to gain a Shadow Orb. So this talent makes it faster to get Shadow Orbs. Now Shadow Orbs is your mastery ability, so that means a Shadow Orb increases damage by Mind Blast and Mind Spike by 34%. So imagine having 3 stacks of Shadow Orbs, plus for each point of the mastery stat, your damage is increased by an additional 2.5%. Other notables of Shadow include Shadow Power and Mind Flay. Shadow Orb Pain and Mind Flay may be the quickest way to earn orbs, but it is by no means the only way. So I test this out by randomly killing mobs using a mix of shadow spells other than Shadow Orb Pain and Mind Flay. I found it a difficult task to stack orbs, but I did manage to get one. After 5 minutes of killing and no orbs, I finally managed to earn another orb by basically spamming Mind Spike, and in this way I was able to have an orb and Mind Melt active for a follow-up with Mind Blast. As you can see here, Shadow Orb Pain and Mind Flay is the fastest means to gain and stack orbs. This is a perfect example of quickly stacking orbs and following up with Mind Blast. The 16k hit with 3 stacks of Shadow Orbs at level 80 seemed consistent. Imagine combining this with Mind Spike. Okay, finally I'm level 81 and I can finally get my Mind Spike. Okay, so spamming. Ooh, I love this. Ooh, Shadow Orb. Mind Spike does 3,643 base damage at rank 1 and increases your crit strike chance on next Mind Blast target by 30%. This stacks up to 3 times, so here I also gained a Shadow Orb. Now let's see how Mind Spike, when used with the Mind Melt talent, helps you put out some big numbers. The Mind Melt talent, maxed at 2 points, increases damage done with your Shadow or Death by 30% on targets at or below 25% health, and when you deal damage with Mind Spike, cast time of next Mind Blast is reduced by 50%, lasting 6 seconds. Mind Melt can stack up to 2 times. This is not to be confused with the Mind Spike crit chance stacks to your next Mind Blast. Maybe there's something to this S&M stuff. Let's look at Mind Flay talents. Sin and Punishment has Mind Flay crits, reducing the cooldown of Shadow Fiend by 20 seconds, while Pain and Suffering not only has a 60% chance to refresh Shadow or Pain, but reduces the damage you take from your own Shadow or Death by 20%. This ties in with the next 2 talents I'll be discussing. Remember that Mind Melt increases damage with Shadow or Death by 30% to targets at or below 25%, while Masochism helps you gain mana back when you damage yourself with your own Shadow or Death. You instantly gain 8% of your total mana. The damage reduction of Pain and Suffering, combined with Shadow or Death, makes it another way to gain back mana in a pinch. Okay, I've been waiting to summon this shadowy apparition and it's finally there. It's swimming, and oh my god. Is that all? I was a bit on the fence about Shadowy Apparition. It seemed like such a cool spell. When you deal periodic damage with Shadow Orb Pain, you have a chance to summon a shadowy version of yourself that slowly moves towards Shadow Orb Pain afflicted target. Once it reaches a target, it instantly deals X amount of damage. While you're moving, the chance to summon is increased. Deciding to test it, I put in 3 points. In my attempt to purposely summon a shadowy apparition, I spammed Shadow Word Pain while moving around. To be fair, the talent description did mention that the chance is increased while moving, and I assume I do not need to move and cast Shadow Word Pain at the same time. However, I wasn't about to take any chances. Eventually, I did manage to summon one. Imagining an effect much like Vile Spirits in heroic Lady Death Whisper, I watched as my shadowy self lumbered toward the mob. Instead of a big boom, I got an imperceptible pop. The effect was much like an extra tick of Shadow Word Pain, doing an average damage of 1900 to 2300 after several tries. Though there is no definitive damage or modifier noted in the talent, it is my hope that a future patch will give a percentage or maybe something cool will happen. I hope this because for 3 points, what basically amounts to an extra tick of Shadow Word Pain made me feel ripped off. Furthermore, during one of my trial apparition damage tests, I had a shadowy apparition actually miss. My only consolation to this debacle was the monster whale shark that casually swam by. Notice there is no level for him. I hope it decides to only eat plankton and not me. I wonder if I can ride it. Okay, I'm just gonna kill these mobs and... oh my god, I'm grabbed! Okay, I'm gonna fade, because the phantom should help with the... nope, that didn't work. Let's see, maybe I'll... dispersion, okay. Nope, that didn't work either. Damn it. I guess being grabbed doesn't count as a movement impairing effect. Go figure. This is a quick look at Twisted Faith, which is much higher up in the talent tree now. Notice there's no bonuses to spell power from Spirit. Instead, Spirit helps with your hit rating. The other talents in the Shadow tree looks much like the current Shadow talents. I added a point to Psychic Horror because Mindseer now has a range of 5 to 35 yards, making World PvE very frustrating when dealing with multiple mobs. However, with a 2-minute cooldown, Psychic Horror may not be a viable way to AoE mobs. Looks like Mindseer will be relegated to raids and dungeons. Well, I know it is a lot to think about and a lot to consider. The changes are still ongoing, so I'm hoping there's more to Shadowy Apparition than what it seems to be, because it does appear to be like a really cool talent to have, but is it worth the 3 points? So we'll see. Hopefully they'll change that in an upcoming post, as well as change that new thing that they did to Mindseer. Like, they really nerfed it. Like, I had a really difficult time AoEing mobs because of it. So we're gonna take a look at all those things in a later post, I guess, if they change it. Hopefully they do. But if not, I'll continue to level as ShadowPriest, and then next time I'll go more into Mastery, Thaumaturgy, and and Holy Thieves. So I'll talk to you later. This is LK Priest saying thanks for watching and happy gaming.